All right, guys, good morning. It's Wednesday today, so we're gonna do some painting today. I know some guys like the painting videos, and it's been a while since I painted anything, but I'm gonna have to get the bus and the primer demo moved out, so we're gonna move that outside, and we're gonna get the booth here emptied out, and try to leave these Volkswagens inside in case it rains. Saw Jeff's video on the phosphoric acid this morning, and that's what this is on this. This car got left outside bare steel and got completely rusted, just like that. And all I've done is spray it down, haven't touched it with a sandpaper, and the phosphoric acid usually turns black, crusty like this, like a crystal is what the rust turns into. And you can just hit this with some 80 grit and go to your etch primer. The side's the same way. I sprayed the whole car down. But this stuff, if it does get on primer or rubber, it will definitely affect it, so you want to be careful. I like to use Ospo. It's an old school brand, and what I do is I just put it in the sprayer back here and spray the crap out of everything with it right there. Get you a sprayer. Ospo is sort of the oldest stuff around. It's like liquid ebony, you know, it's been around for a while, but it does work really well. Hi, Autumn. The little kitty cats are running around. As a matter of fact, we'll do a little, I'll do a little panel for you here so you can get an idea of how this stuff works. Let's take this outside, we'll spray it down. I'll show you the condition of this now. And later today, this will be a really good, good demo. This is a piece for Gaten's bus that I gotta go weld on. I need to get over there and work on that, but I just haven't had a chance to get over there and do it. So what we'll do is set the sprayer down. We'll put this right there. You can see it's pretty rusty. Pump the old sprayer up, and we'll give this thing a spray down. We'll see what this looks like. I mean, I just do shit really good. Stuff's not that expensive, and when you see the results, it's pretty amazing. Both sides of this. You don't want to get the stuff on your skin either, as it will get you. So we'll let that sit and we'll come back and take a look at that. Anyway, I had some questions on a bus. Everybody, Canada Catalyst, he's Andy, makes some videos on YouTube. I don't know if you guys are subscribed to him, but he's looking for a bus for his wife, and he thinks he might have found a bus in Tennessee, and he's gonna go check it out, and if it's decent, he's gonna bring it here and let me do some work on it for him, maybe. So Andy, this video is for you, buddy. We're gonna go over a few of the areas where you want to look for rust. So first thing you want to do is, you know, does it have a pancake motor or is it upright? The pancake motors are a little more troublesome. They are a little more powerful. You can make them run, but you can get into a little bit of money with the fuel injected, or the pancake motor as they like to refer to it, the Type 2. Larger engine, beefier case. All the parts are a little bigger, a little different. As far as the rust, you know, the main concern would be your cheeks, your rare area here. Late buses have a piece that goes across here. That piece we just sprayed with the Ospo. This isn't open. You know, the apron doesn't remove. But anyway, open the deck lid and check your battery area, your battery boxes. You want to make sure that's solid. You want to look and see if it's had a new one welded in. This one's been replaced. It's very common. You know, crawl under here and look at the bottom, and look at your wheel openings, your above your tires. You know, make sure you don't have a lot of Bondo area in here. Put your hand behind there. This is a single panel, so if it's had any repair work, you will be able to feel it, you know, in the wheel opening. And also check the bottom of your quarter panels for any rust. Stick your hand up there, feel for Bondo and stuff. You want to give it a look over as far as the shocks, the cross member, your brake lines, of course. Crawling around on the floor here, bear with me, guys. Your main supports on the bus. I don't even know if any of this is coming out, guys, but you got the main two frame rails, and then you got your support beams that your jack goes into, and there's several beams that run across the floor. The two main supports are, there's two of them. One's a jack location and one's located right behind the jack in front of the torsion. And then there's another one directly under the dog leg in the front of the bus. You want to make sure both structures are all three of those structures are solid and without rust. All these parts are available, but it does get into quite a bit of money when you got to start welding panels on buses. Bottom of the quarter panels, your pinch welds. These are all places to look. You know, are the spot welds original like these are? You know, when you stick your hand up there, is there any Bondo hanging out? And so on. Oh, get up off the ground. The other place to look for rust would be under these covers that cover the sliding door mechanism. Sometimes they can hide some rust down in here. You can see this one, even though this bus is in good shape, the water gets held up in here between the rubber and the piece that caps over this, and you can get some rust like this inside. So tail sign is, you'll see some rust coming out like right here. This has got a little bit right here that I need to take care of, but that piece covers almost all that, and there's a piece of rubber there also, so sometimes that rust is hard to see. If you got vent windows on the bus, you want to make sure that the screens are in good shape and the window regulators operate. These are relatively inexpensive. You can pick them up for anywhere from $25 to $50 depending on the conditions, you know. The other thing is you want to make sure that your slider operates good. The bottom track sometimes can get rusty. This one actually has some rust in it that I can show you. You can see the little holes, and that's how it starts. Well, the wheel's got to ride over that, so you know, as this gets worse and worse, the wheel can get caught up in it and the door won't slide. So check the track for rust. Back of your doors again. Take your hand, rub it on the bottom of the seam, you know, and you'll be able to feel if there's any rust starting or if it's been repaired, you know. And there's nothing wrong with one that's been repaired, buddy. You just want to make sure that the repair is decent and it's not a bunch of Bondo poking out. The floors, it's another visual inspection you can do from the bottom of the bus. Obviously, a lot of times the bus has carpet and such in it, so you can't rip all that out, you know, but you want to look underneath and look up at the floors. Take a little pocket screwdriver with you, and if you see a piece of metal that might be questionable, give it the poke test, you know. See what kind of work you're going to have to do so you can adjust the price. The other area would be the floors. You can't see anything. Let me open this big door up. I haven't opened this door since the motor fell over on my bus. So I got shit everywhere. I gotta clean this building. You can't even walk in here right now. That's never good. So anyway, hopefully we'll get Hans out here in a little bit and he can help me start the day. The floors are another issue. Pull the mat up. This bus had some rust in the floors. I chose to fiberglass this floor instead of replace it. The later model stuff, after 1971 or 72, the floors are more available. You can buy the whole piece up here. So if it does have some rot, it's not an issue, but the dog legs are another area to get rust. You know, run your hand behind here, check for Bondo. Check the wheel well, you know, the foot area. And, you know, little signs of rust. You'll see it in the dog legs, the front floor, the cross members, and the rest of the areas that I pointed out. The battery boxes and the cheek areas are the, you know, the problem areas. One other area that could be a concern is the front of the bus. If you can pull any of this matting down that's in the front, and you can look and see if the bus has ever been hit in the front. This one has. You can see the, you know, there's been some nasty repairs on here over the years, and you know, you get this stuff with these buses. They're old, and you should see that foam like that if it hasn't been messed with. If it's not molested, it'll have the styrofoam foam glued to to the front of the bus from the backside for some installation. The other area that rusts on these is under the front windshield, and this is a pretty bad area to have to repair. They do make some panels for this. They actually make the whole front piece, which I'm going to be putting on another bus I have over at my buddy's house. We're having to replace the whole front end, and you can see this bus is getting oil on it or something sitting in here. But anyway, not to get off subject, the windshield. It's very important to flip the rubber up, make sure there's no rust starting under the rubber, and there's no rust under the glass, because like I said, this could be an area that can be troublesome, and it has to be addressed if it's starting to rust there, because it compromises the seal on the windshield, and then the water starts getting into the bus and the rust starts getting to the floor and everything else from there. So hopefully that helps you out, Andy. And if you want, you know, take your camera with you, take your phone, take some pictures, you can call me. The number is 386-216-4626, and that's Andrea's phone number. And her days off are Thursday and Friday, so if you could look at it on a Thursday or Friday, I'm usually hanging out with her, and I could answer your questions and stuff if you had any, or look at your pictures as you send them over. So hopefully that helps you out. The next guy that had a question for me was Chris from the UK, and he was asking about Bondo. The Z-Grip's fine, Chris. It's in the Metalworks family, and I try to tell everybody about, I don't have any right now, any 3M or Evercoat products here other than the G2, and that's something that I just noticed about this. I will make this mention about the G2. It has been said that this can go over bare metal, but when I watched the video that Evercoat puts out, they recommend an etch primer before you put this down. And the other concern that I just had with this is that Evercoat, they have a little identification on all their products if it's safe for base coat, clear coat, and if it's made for the OEM repair system, like such as new cars, and you know, they have a standard for the OEM what you can put on the cars. They have a classification on their products, and it has the Metalworks family is the little insignia, and I don't see it on this product. Now the Metalworks insignia is on the Z-Grip Bondo, and yeah, I think maybe we should do a video on Bondos one more time. A lot of guys missed it, and I have to get some Bondo in stock to do that. But I actually I went and bought every brand of Bondo, and there is a Bondo video if you go back into the old ones. I know a lot of guys don't like to search back into the old stuff, but I made a video on Bondo, and I went into the manufacturer footnotes, and I read off all the different Bondos that are accepted for base coat, clear coats, and the ones that aren't. And you know, some of you guys got that, and some of you guys really didn't understand the video, I think. You know, it's not my opinion when I'm reading out of the manual. It's what the manufacturer wants. And Bondo is one of those areas where a lot of people are misled at the paint store. The way it works is it's much like back when I used to spray PPG, when they first came out with Omni. Before they had Shopline, it was called Omni. And I used to do some side jobs, you know, after work. I'd spray the Omni single stage, and I couldn't believe how decent the stuff was. You know, it sprayed pretty decent. It laid out really good. And it was really my first experience with doing side jobs. You know, I really, when you get into this and you're serious about it, you know, you're going to dedicate a lot of time to wherever you work. However, I started doing these side jobs, and I had a pretty close relationship with my PPG rep, and he turned me on to the Omni, and I started using it. And I want to say it was like 70 bucks for a gallon of paint, you know, back then for a single stage. You can knock a car out with it and it would look great, you know. And I asked him, I said, man, I don't understand, you know, how you can sell this paint so cheap and it can look so good, you know. And he explained to me that companies have to sell gallons, you know. It's all about volume of sales. And that's why they make the secondary products. You know, they always have their staple product, and then they manufacture offsprings or offspins from that product. And that enables them to sell more gallons to the consumer. You know, it's more in our price range. Shops can absorb the higher price on materials, and materials are better managed in a shop than they are in your garage. So, you know, the cost isn't as big as a concern. You know, they're looking for optimum holdout and the longest possible warranty they can get. So that's why they use quality products in shops. And that's the difference between a shop and a consumer. When you go into a paint store, big store, they have the stuff that they'll sell to shops, and then they have the stuff that they sell to you off the street. And that's always bothered me. Epoxy is one of those things that's an off the street. You know, if we were drug dealers, it'd be a street drug, you know? It'd be like crack. You know, if you were more well off, you'd do coke, and if you were a street guy, you'd do the crack, you know? And that's a good analogy on Bondos, because Bondo is the foundation which we build the car on, you know? I mean, we all have to put Bondo in cars. Some of us tin, some of us lead, you know, but that's very rare. A lot of us use Bondo. It's a very common thing that's used. And I've made this challenge to several guys before. You'll never see a video on YouTube from an actual body shop and see a can of Chromolite, or see a can of, what's the other one that sells for nothing? Dynolite, Chromolite. Bondo brand. You're not going to see those Bondos in a paint and body shop that has a warranty program in place, because it's not made for base coat, clear coat, for one thing. The cheaper $14 Bondos are still made for the single stage paints. You know, they still have enamels out there. They have acrylic enamels. They have alkaline enamels. They have all different types of paint, you know. But in the garage, it seems like the most popular paint is base coat, clear coat. You know, that's what everybody wants, the base coat, clear coat. And whether it's a secondary brand or you know, a premium brand, it has the same quality. It has the same tendencies to attack the Bondo hardener if it's not the proper hardener in it. And you know, they make Bondos for base coat, clear coat. They make Bondos that can go directly over metal. They make Bondos that can go over painted surfaces. The Bondos that go over the painted surfaces are designed more for the OEM repair, and the reason the Bondo companies made Bondos that stick to paint is because they don't want the liability of their Bondo going over bare steel. There's less of a chance for the product to fail if it's got something underneath it. So that's why they made Bondo have the ability to stick to these primers and to the to epoxies. A lot of body shops won't even put plastic over bare steel. They go right over epoxy. They'll epoxy the whole car, etch it, epoxy it, rough up the affected areas where they're going to do their body work, and then add their filler. All the cheaper fillers have to go over bare steel. You can't put cheap filler over like epoxy, like the Dynolite, the Chromolite. That will not go over a painted surface. It won't adhere. It will come loose. So there's a lot in the Bondo quality, and I know there's a big difference, and it's not really a big difference, guys. It's $30 difference, you know, from the best Bondo to the shittiest Bondo. And if you're ready to compromise all the work that you've done and everything that you put on your car, then buy the cheapest Bondo you can get. But if you're concerned with the way the job's going to hold out, and if it's going to ring, or if you're going to have bodywork issues, you know, buy a Bondo that's base coat, clear coat safe. Doesn't have to be 3M. It doesn't have to be Evercoat. It doesn't have to be, you know, UFC, UMC. It can be any brand as long as it's base coat, clear coat safe. And that's why I tried to buy all those different cans of Bondo last time and lay them out on the table. You know, I like the Matrix Bondo, of course, because I can buy it at a really good deal, and it's base coat, clear coat safe. It spreads real nice. It, you know, it works good for me. It works a lot like the Rage Gold. So you know, for a lot less money, I can use the, you know, the premium gold filler there, and it spreads better, it sands better, and it's altogether better. You know, I don't care for the cheap Bondo. Not only does it not sand good, it's a false fix. You know, it's gonna let go. And you can see from my cabinet, you know, there's a little bit of everything in here, so I have had experience with different types of paint. I'm just not a Matrix guy, you know. There's some Shopline in there. There's some Global in there. There's Diamond in here. There's everything that you can think. I've used it, you know. So I am partial to the Matrix. You know, it's quite a value. You know, it's priced right. It holds up good. They got a great warranty, and that's why I try to. That's why I've tried to bring this product into the garage and put it into some guys' hands, you know, and nobody's used it and had bad things to say about it, you know. It works very well, and people are liking it. And whether you get it from me or you get it from your local dealer, it's a very good product. And for your dollar, it's probably one of the best things you can buy. All right, so I hope that answered a couple questions. Andy, you know, like I said, just call me on the bus. If you can do an oil pressure test, that would be great, and a compression test. Obviously, you know, those things are sometimes hard to talk the owner into, but those are things that will definitely tell you some things about your motor. Your oil pressure test, of course, you just pull your oil sending unit out and screw a manual gauge in. And the compression test, you know, you're a mechanic, so you should have no problem doing that. And I would suggest both those, both a valve adjustment and, or not a valve adjustment, but an oil pressure check and a compression test. Check the seal in the engine compartment, you know, make sure the seal's pretty decent. Make sure that, you know, there's not a bunch of oil dripping all over the motor. And just common sense stuff, buddy, goes a long way. When you're looking at any car, it doesn't matter if it's a Volkswagen or a Chevrolet, you know, you're just looking for the same things. And, you know, just take your hands and run underneath the panels and they'll tell you everything. Your fingertips can find all kinds of stuff. Brakes, CV boots, that's another thing to look at, you know. CV joints on those can get a little expensive. The brakes are pretty basic. There is a power booster. If you buy anything later than a 72, it'll have power brakes, and the booster will be mounted under the floor in the front. And a lot of times the boosters are bad and will cause a vacuum leak, and people bypass those or disconnect them. So you want to check and see if that's hooked up. And if it does have power brakes, you want to make sure they function right, because that booster is about $200 to have rebuilt. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of stuff to look at, buddy. And hopefully I answered the Bondo question. Obviously I'm going to do another Bondo video here. It'll probably be, you know, maybe a day, 2 week, I don't know. But if you want to see one, there is a video up on Bondo. You know, it's quite a while ago, but we put it all out on the table. I got the manual out and I read right out of the footnotes. You know, I didn't make anything up. I didn't give you my opinion. I read right out of the book. And it's not the Matrix book I read out of. I read out of the manufacturer's book. I have a master catalog set, and it has footnotes on each product, and it'll tell you whether it's base coat, clear coat safe, whether it's intended for bond or metal, primer, whatever. You know, all that information's available to you. Here's some Rage. I was looking to see if it had the metalwork thing on it. This is some old Rage Gold. I know it's safe, but I don't seem to see that. So I'll get the manual out. I'll show you guys the footnotes one more time. We'll do one more Bondo video. And yeah, you know, I don't like the heart, you know, on the Bondo thing. And I know some guys will tell you that all Bondos are the same. It's the same stuff, different can, different label, and that's total bullshit. You know, don't fall into that, because that's not true at all. And if it was, you know, we'd all be using $9 Bondo, because we're not stupid out here, okay? We all want to save money. Nobody has money to throw away on a car, and if we could use something for $9, we damn sure would, you know. But we don't want to use something that's going to compromise the way our project's going to come out, or, you know, affect our project. So that's why, you know, you can only cheapen it up so much. And there's different places you can cut corners without cutting the quality of the job. And that's just not one of them. Filler's not one to start. Primer's not a place to do it. And to be honest with you, if you want to cut the costs on the job, it's the paint, you know. Because there's a wide variety of what you can use out there, what's available, and what you know, how stuff works. There's a lot of products that work really good that are very value priced, and you can go the other way real quick with paint. I mean, paint varies drastically on price. This one quart right here, ugh. This one quart can of Global, that's $140 right there, man, you know, for a quart. So that's and this is white, I believe. You know, it's nothing special. It's stupid money. I know I painted a Lamborghini, orange Lamborghini, and I think materials were $3,000 just for the material. It was the tri-stage, so you know, 3 colors and the clear. You know, so you can get into some stupid money with paint for sure. All right, let me go ahead and shut this off. We got the jet flying over there. Not gonna get it. It's going too fast. Got the Titan out here. You pop the tranny out of this and do a rebuild on it. You know, it's coming up soon, so I need my truck. I'm tired of driving the Hyundai. Well, Andrea's driving it, so I'm stuck in her truck, which I can't get into. So yeah, I need this bad boy. I pulled it up here the other day, and got to get some stuff out of here. Got some fiberglass in there from the boat repair, and a seat that needs a new piece of wood put on the back of it. It found its way in my truck somehow. But yeah, this isn't a bad truck. It's just been sitting back here, and I used to use this to work out of for a little bit. And there's the paper towels and the vice grips and some sandpaper left in here, but not much from the old working days. And yeah, it just basically sits on the side of the house over there. It does run and drive fine. It just has that delay going into drive, which I can't stand, so I'm gonna go ahead and fix it. And usually reverse gets the delay, but no, not with this. This is drive. You rev it up, goes right into gear, and then it runs fine. But getting it into gear is a real pain in the ass, and it's sort of embarrassing when you're revving the motor up to get it to pop into gear. So I figure we'll pull the tranny out and see what's going on with this. I've talked to a couple guys, and they gave me some things to look at, but the garage is always getting bigger. If any of you guys have ever messed with a Titan tranny and had this issue, you know, like I said, you put it in reverse, it's instant. You put it in drive and there's nothing there. You have to rev the motor up to get it engaged, and then once it's engaged, it'll stay engaged, and it works and operates perfectly. So no slipping, lockup works, everything works fine. It's just getting it in drive. You know, you got to rev it up, hold your foot on the brake, and it pops into gear. And then if you everywhere you go, if you leave it in drive and put the parking brake on, it works fine. It'll never come out of gear, but it's just getting it into the gear. So, and it goes in every time. It's just you know, like I said, it's real embarrassing, and it's just shouldn't have to do that to a nice truck. So we're gonna go ahead and fix it, and hopefully it doesn't get too costly. You know, it's something that I can find in there fairly easy. So if you guys have heard of that problem or seen it before, you know, I'm sort of fighting out with this. I'm gonna pull the tranny out. Any direction would be appreciated. The other thing I have a problem with on this truck is it had Gangsters wheels and tires on it when I bought it, some real big tall suckers, and I took them off and put the factory ones back on it, and now my speedometer is off, you know, quite a bit. And I need to recalibrate that, so I haven't had a chance to do that. And I got an airbag light for some reason that comes on and flashes every once in a while, so I'm gonna have to hook the Modus up to it and run through the body computer and see what's going on with all this stuff. But it's not a bad truck. It's a lot better than the Hyundai, and you can put shit in the back of it, so that's good. I'm gonna have to deliver a motor here soon, and probably be getting a pickup truck to do it with, and hopefully this will be it. So gotta get this running. Well, that or the bus, I don't know. I might drive the bus, I haven't decided yet. So I might do a little YouTube tour on the bus. That'd be easier to stay in, you know. I could camp at campgrounds and stuff like that. So all right, I'm babbling. Another cat shot. Good to get this video or tranny apart. I think we'll let Hans do that today. Go try to wake him up. Everybody's sleepy, and nobody likes to get up around here in the morning. I don't know what it is. I got lazyitis. Come on, buddy, we gotta get up, man. People want to see videos. I need help pushing shit. Gotta get stuff moved around. Huh? Woohoo! Up late last night? Huh? Come on, man. It's 12 o'clock. It's 12 o'clock in the afternoon, man. It's time to get up. There you go. It's freezing in here. Aren't you cold? You're not talking today? Oh, well, Hans got nothing to say today.